Good morning, it's Sunday the 12th of June and welcome to another episode of Foxanne's Follies. Today I'm going to take Foxanne for a little jolly just down the road, just a couple of miles from where I live, where the Reliant Owners Club are holding their Southwest Area Rally. So just going to pop down there, see what's going on, have a look around some interesting and unusual Reliants, and yeah, so let's go. Okay, here we are in Foxanne, ready to go. Time for a cold start, first thing in the morning. Give it a little bit of choke, and let's see how quickly she starts. Oh, not first time. Or even second time today. Third time lucky, 3 for the win. Fresh air. And here we go. Down to the Reliant Owners Club, Southwest Rally. This is only my second drive in Foxanne since getting her back on the road again. Yes, I had a bit of a frantic week last week trying to get Foxanne ready for the MOT because I had an event to go to on Saturday, yesterday, and just about managed to get Foxanne ready for the MOT by Friday morning. Managed to get her booked in at 12 o'clock on Friday, and then had a bit more of a panic at 11 o'clock just before going to the MOT test. I thought to myself, oh, does the horn work? And nipped outside, tried it, and of course it doesn't, of course it didn't, and so then I had a frantic half hour testing the wiring and trying to work out why the horn wasn't working. Thankfully I had a couple of spare motorcycle horns just sitting around in a box of bits in the house. So I managed to fix it in time, get down to the MOT, pass the MOT, and she was ready for the event yesterday, which was the Hubnut Social at Cirencester, which was a great event. But as I say, I didn't record any of that event because Ian Seabrook, who runs the Hubnut channel, is a professional YouTuber, so he will have done some coverage of the event for his YouTube channel. So I think it'd be far better, if you want to see how that event went, to watch the Hubnut coverage of it. But yeah, it was a good event. Some great vehicles turned out. A couple of Inva cars, lovely old Jag, Alfa Romeo, Lotus, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, that'll all no doubt be on the Hubnut channel for you to view. So today I'm going to pop down to the, as I say, I'm popping down to the Reliant Owners Club rally, and I doubt you'll see that on anybody else's YouTube channel. So yeah, so let's do that. Well, Foxanne is running very nicely, considering she's been basically laid up for the last 6 months since the previous MOT ran out just before Christmas, because of various reasons, including my health and the weather. I hadn't got round to doing any work on her until the last couple of weeks. But yeah, now she's on the road and she's running just as well as ever. As we come down here through Chard, past the beautiful St Mary's Church there. And down Forton Road. So yeah, Forton is a well, was a small village, shall I say. It's probably expanded a bit now. It was a small village on the outskirts of Chard, and I was quite lucky actually, because I had no idea of this when I moved to Chard, but I've always been a Reliant fan, and I had no idea that Chard actually had its own branch of the Reliant Owners Club. So there's quite a few guys here in Chard who have the knowledge and equipment to help with any problems I might have with the Reliant. As you can see, as I'm going past here, there's a lot of new development down here. These houses, I don't think these were even finished the last time I drove past, which was only a few months ago. The good thing about Chard is, much as it's quite an industrial town, it's pretty small and it's surrounded by open countryside. So as soon as you're out of the town centre, you're in these lovely country lanes, which is the ideal environment for driving a car like this. Largely because she's so small, you know, you get to a situation where you've got cars coming the other way and you have to stop and give way. And yeah, Foxhound can get through the smallest spaces. So here we are in Forton. Now we have to go down Forton Lane, which I think is down here. Forton Rangers Football Club, ROC, it says on the sign. So let's go down here. Oh, there we go, Forton Rangers Football Club. Right, what is happening here? Oh, when I say a field full of Reliants, I see one Reliant, but that is all I see. At the moment, but maybe there's a few others. Oh, I see a couple more. I see a little Regal there, and there's a kitten. Hi there. Okay, well it looks like I got down here a little bit too late, because it's a 2-day event, or it's a 3-day event actually, from Friday to Sunday, but the main event day is on Saturday, which is of course when I was at the Hub Social, and yeah, I've missed the main turnout. Actually there actually was a pretty good turnout here, but as we can see, there's a lovely looking Regal here with all the bells and whistles, including a tow bar. This is the 2.1e version, which is the posh version of the Regal, posh version of the 330 Regal, which includes such extras as an artificial wood dashboard. And over here, there's quite a rarity, the sort of thing I haven't seen. I don't think I've ever actually seen one in the flesh before. It's a Reliant Ant. Well, as I said on Sunday, this is the last day of the local southwest area Reliant Owners Club rally, and just about everyone had gone, because it seems they all just have breakfast and then shoot off on Sunday morning. But yeah, I found this really interesting Reliant Ant, and the owner, who'd come down from Coventry, had a really interesting journey down. Well, I say interesting, in the sense of interesting times. 3 breakdowns on the way down, but he's been all over the place in this thing. This Reliant Ant was actually dragged out of a hedge, dragged out of a blackberry briar back in 2007, and he couldn't even see it. Somebody told him it was there in the briar, and he went down there with a mate, and they eventually found it, hacked their way through the blackberries, found it, dragged it out, and it was more or less complete, but obviously they had to do a total rebuild on it, and rebuilt it, drove it Land's End to John O'Groats in 2008, and been driving it around ever since. But they didn't have much history on it because nobody knew where it had come from. But driving it around in the intervening years, every so often, he said, people would come up to him and say, "Oh, I used to drive that," and turns out it was actually owned by the Reliant factory. Yeah, and used used on the premises of the Reliant factory to move chassis about and such like. And because of that, it's actually it's an extended chassis. It's 18 inches longer than standard, so that it could carry the Reliant chassis around the works. So yeah, and eventually he managed to get hold of the history from DVLA. Back in the days when you could get the history from DVLA, luckily he was just in time to do that, and yeah, found out that it was originally registered to the Reliant Motor Co, and they had it for the first 6.5 years of its life before it went off into its obscure life, and eventually ended up in the blackberry briar. But here it is today, having driven down from Coventry, and anyway, he's going to come back now and drive off, and I'll watch him head off. Let's catch Mr. Ant going now. Oh, that sounds lovely, doesn't it? Sounds very healthy. And there he goes.